billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, and welcome to Women's View on Ahlulbayt TV, a show discussing Islam through the voice of women. Now, as we're approaching Ashura, I first would like to send my condolences to you all and to Imam al-Mahdi Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajah on the martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein. Now, just before we go to our live show today, I have an announcement. And that is in the first time of television history, we are broadcasting the maqtal of Imam al-Hussein live all around the world. So please do not let your Imam down. Please come and join us here at Ahlulbayt TV, our headquarters in Croydon, where we commemorate this tragedy. Now, please do help bring this event alive because, we do not want an empty marquee while the maqtal is being recited. So please, for the brothers and sisters, you're all welcome to come to Ahlulbayt TV here in Croydon, in London, and to commemorate the tragedy of Imam al-Hussein while the maqtal will be broadcasted live around the world. So inshallah, we'll see you then. We have the capacity of hosting more than 1,500 people. So you're all welcomed, all those viewers at home, all those viewers who would like to come to Ahlulbayt TV, you're all welcome. So inshallah, we'll see you on Ashura, where we commemorate the martyrdom of our Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Now let's go to our topic today, because we have a very interesting topic lined out. And today's topic is the analysis of the sermon of Lady Zainab alayhi salam. As you all know, that Lady Zainab gave speeches out after the tragedy of Imam al-Hussein, and our sermon was very powerful. So today, inshallah, we'll analyze the sermon. Now, before we go to our live show, I would like to tell you all that this is a live call-in show. So if you would like to call in with your views or opinions, then please do call in with the number on the screen. We'd love to hear from you. Alternatively, you can email us at womensview@ahlulbayt.tv. That's womensview@ahlulbayt.tv. Inshallah, I'll receive your message in today's show and read it out during the show. Also, some of your comments will be shown at the bottom of the screen, so you can check them out at the bottom of the screen, inshallah. So let's get straight to our topic today. I'm your host, Zahra Al-Alawi, and today with me is Sister Fatimah Mohammad, Assalamu alaikum, and Sister Sana Kaleem, Assalamu alaikum. We're very pleased to have our two guests here, because both guests have been very active, both behind the screens and on screens. Fatimah Mohammad has been working for Ahlulbayt TV behind the screens and has contributed a lot, and Sana Kaleem, as you all know, has been on the screens as well. So, alhamdulillah, we're very privileged to have both of them today. Now, the topic of the analysis of the sermon of Lady Zainab is such a powerful topic, and it's something that we can really prove to the world, the capability of women and the courage and bravery of Lady Zainab alayhi salam. Now, as we all know that Sayedda Zainab gave two sermons, both in Kufa and Sham. That's, the most known about. So let's discuss first of all these two sermons. I mean, what was the significance of these two sermons, and just explain to the audience the sermons that she gave. Yeah.
Well, basically after the events of Karbala and the burning of the tents, the women and the children were taken as captives, and they were taken to Kufa. Now in Kufa, this is where Sayedda Zainab alayhi salam held her first sermon. What happened was that the people in Kufa knew who Imam Hussein alayhi salam was, and they had promised to support him. But because of the fears and the threats from Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, they betrayed Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and they left Muslim Aqil to be killed all alone. So here Sayedda Zainab alayhi salam speaks to them. She reminds them who Imam Hussein alayhi salam was, and also she condemns their betrayal. And afterwards, so this was the first part of her sermon. Afterwards, she goes in the court of Ibn Ziyad, and here he tries to insult her. And again, she beautifully responds to his attempt of, she beautifully responds, and you see that she angers him so much that he wants to kill her, but he is stopped from doing so. So we consider this as her first sermon in Kufa, and afterwards she goes to Sham. Now in Sham it's quite different, because Yazid had organized a whole ceremony for the arrival of the caravan. So he had the streets decorated, he had people wear the most beautiful clothes, and he had invited ambassadors and big personalities from all the countries. And he had told them that we have won against a group of people who raised against Islam, who revolted against Islam. So we have won against them. So he wanted to celebrate in the name of Islam. And here Sayedda Zainab alayhi salam, in his own quote, she again holds her beautiful and very revolutionary sermon where she exposes Yazid's lies, and she tells people who Imam Hussein alayhi salam really was, because these people didn't know who Imam Hussein was. So she tells them who he was and who she is. They were the very grandchildren of the Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So yeah, because and also she exposes Yazid and Yazid's lies and his identity as a sinner, as a tyrant. And the thing is that the wrongful leaders had distorted the image of Islam so much that there was nothing left out of Islam but its name if Imam Hussein alayhi salam hadn't raised against them. As Imam Hussein alayhi salam himself says, I'm not going out of my home to cause corruption or injustice, but I want to reform the nation of my grandfather Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if it wasn't for Sayedda Zainab's stance and her speech and her sermon, and if it wasn't for this and the way she exposed Yazid, this reform wouldn't have been able to take place. So she saved Islam. If it wasn't for them, Imam Hussein and Sayedda Zainab alayhi salam, Islam would have been extinct by now.
Definitely, yeah, powerful words.
As we all know, the tragedy of Karbala, and it was Sayedda Zainab Salamun alayha that summarized it all in her one sermon. The Imam alayhi salam, he spoke through his actions, and not just before he delivered his sermon before the battle itself and the things that he said during the battle, but his actions spoke louder than words. And Sayedda Zainab Salamun alayha, she beautifully encased them in words, and to see what Allah has to say about this sacrifice. As you've mentioned, as the sister mentioned, that she did deliver two sermons. One was in Kufa and one was in Sham. And the one in Kufa was Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. He was trying to mock the Ahlulbayt alayhi salam. There was this lady who was trying to hide. She was in her veil, just trying to hide. And he noticed this lady who was trying to just try and hide away somewhere, and he said, "Who is this lady?" Got a bit curious, and somebody replied, "This is Zainab bint, Imam Ali alayhi salam." And that is a point where he thought, let's take advantage and seize this moment in humiliating this most pious lady in Islam. It's a shame to even that those bloodthirsty people and tyrants couldn't have enough of humiliating the Ahlulbayt alayhi salam. And he posed a question to Sayedda Zainab Salamun alayha. He said, "Praise be to Allah." I mean, it's remarkable that a person like that can begin by saying, "Praise be to Allah," when he is going against the words of Allah. So you see the height of hypocrisy. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, people who are hypocrites, they will be in the lowest midst of the hellfire. And that's where they will burn forever, which is a hadith. So he said, "Praise be to Allah who disgraced you." He is referring to Sayedda Zainab Salamun alayha. "And relieved your sayings and revealed your sayings as false." And look at the beautiful reply that Sayedda Zainab Salamun alayha gave. She said to him, saying, "Praise be to Allah who has honored us with his messenger and purified us from impurity," which is the ayat-i-tatir in the Quran. So she is quoting the Quran. She goes on saying, "The one who is disgraced is certainly the libertine, and the one who is lies is allured, and we are not such people. Praise be to Allah." And then he got a bit astonished because he never expected Sayedda Zainab to reply. He thought she just would have been just standing there quietly and taking all what he had to say to her. But Sayedda Zainab is teaching us when somebody is being oppressed and saying something wrong, it is our duty to stand against someone who is going against the laws of Allah, and especially when it comes to the Ahlulbayt alayhi salam. If she would have stopped at that point and not spoken, then nobody would have known the waqia of Karbala, what it actually meant, where it happened, why it happened, who were the Ahlulbayt alayhi salam.
Definitely true. If I just stop you there, sorry, we have a call on the line,
Okay,
so shall take that call and then come back to your discussion. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum, sister.
Walaikum salam.
I have a question. I know Sister Zahra has given lectures around centres, and also other sisters have too. Many people say a woman can't come in public and serve her religion. How would you answer that, even though I agree with your work 100%?
Okay, thank you very much, sister, for calling in. Inshallah, we'll discuss your situation later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if you heard that. She said that, she goes, Assalamu alaikum. She said, I know that Sister Zahra has given lectures around in centres, and many people may say that, how can a woman come and lecture about Islam or come on screen? She goes, I know that other sisters have done the same. So she said, how can we answer this situation? And I think, yeah, and at the end she said, that she does agree with what we're doing, but she's just curious as to how we answer it. And just, yeah, so if you go on, I know she mentioned my name, so I will answer it to you personally as well. But no, go ahead.
Sister, you go ahead first, inshallah.
First of all, I wanted to say, I know you mentioned my name, that I have given speeches around the centres, and I know sometimes these centres have had a male and female audience, and many people may say, how can a female come forward and protect her religion or speak about her religion, especially in the open arena? And I mentioned this in previous shows, and I'll mention it again, that before I came on screen, or before I began to give lectures, that I did ask Maraja and I did ask scholars about the permissibility of females coming on screen. And also, a female can come and protect her religion or speak about her religion, but there's boundaries to it as well. So if she follows these boundaries, then obviously she can do that. And some of the boundaries are that you have to have correct hijab. You can't make your voice seductive in any way. So when we speak, we don't soften our voices. We speak to you directly, or to the audience directly. We're here to spread the religion of Muhammad and Ahlulbayt and the religion of Allah. We're not here to come on screen or for a publicity stand as well. Second of all, there's boundaries of what a female has to follow when she comes on screen. I can even send you all these rulings that if a female comes on screen, that she must. The rules that she must follow. And just to, I will give it to you to answer, and also to the sister, because this is an important discussion to discuss. But just before I give it to you, I would like to say that when we see in the event of Mubahila, that the Prophet could have taken anyone. He could have taken a man and left Fatimah Zahra at home to cook or clean, or as an example that females should be at home and just become a housewife. But in the event of Mubahila, that the Prophet took Imam Ali, took Hassan and Hussein, and he took Fatimah Zahra, which just conveys to us that a female can be an envoy to spreading the religion, and she can be a means of spreading the religion, or to protect the religion. So there's many other examples in history from the Ahlulbayt that show that a female can take that stand. I know I'll give it to the sisters, and inshallah I'll answer you and other people that may have this query in more details. Sister, I know you had something to say in regards to this.
Yes, even you mentioned Sayyidah Fatimah Salamun alayha, even at the moment of Fadak, she came forward, in a gathering, and stood up for the truth and justice. When there is need, somebody has to rise up. I mean, there's many females, especially in this world, and everybody knows that the females are like the mothers that will educate the children ahead, the future generations. And if you stop a female from educating herself and gathering that confidence, and if she wants to do something for the love of Allah and earn her way through Jannah, then why should we impose something to not kind of discourage her to not go forward in the path of Islam? by posing such questions. And secondly, if you look at the history, all the education, the Islamic education was established by a woman. After the waqi of Karbala and all these things, Islam was slowly deteriorating, as in people forgot the real Islam. And it was a very Ahlulbayt alayhi salam, the wife of the Imam alayhi salam, she established the school. And that is a very school of thoughts that were all, even the Sunnis, their Imams that got education from there by Imam Jafri Sadiq alayhi salam. So the main person behind it was a woman. And hence the education that has been saved by Allah is the beginning. Was a woman that had to take a step first. And as the saying's going, behind every man there's a successful woman, or any successful man there's a hand of a woman. But the main purpose and creation that why Allah made a woman in the first place is not because she will just fade away in the background somewhere and never be thought of or given the rights of or be spoken to. She is just someone that you can't ever see or know or can't question. As everyone knows, in Islam, Allah has given equal rights to man and woman. Obviously, there are limitations, there are hijab, that within those limitations, you don't cross the boundaries, and then you can interact. Women can even do business. You know, they can socialize, they can do business, but within the limits, and obviously as long as they don't break the limits that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has imposed upon them.
Definitely.
So I would really encourage everyone to come forward, observing the limitations of hijab and other things. But let's start spreading the truth, and it's, you know, it's about time that we do come forward, and instead of being discouraged, let's encourage each other in joining together to do good in the path of Islam for the love of Allah, and Allah knows the intention of every heart.
Definitely true. Would you like to add anything else?
I totally agree with Sister Sunna, and I think actually this is exactly what we need to learn from Sayedda Zainab alayhi salam. She taught us that if our religion is attacked, it's everyone's duty, men and women, to enjoin the good and forbid the evil. And this is what she did, and this is also what Sayyidah Fatimah Zahra alayhi salam did. So yeah, as long as your hijab is observed, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to speak.
Definitely true. I mean, for the caller, first of all, you said you do support our what we're doing and the work we're doing. So first of all, thank you for saying that, and also thank you for bringing this discussion to the table, because many people may have that question but may not come forward and ask it. But it's good to discuss these issues in an open platform about the permissibility of females coming forward. So thank you very much for calling in. And also, I just wanted to say that, to be honest, that if Sayedda Zainab and Fatimah Zahra could come and stand and give sermons in front of a public audience, and we can do the same. I mean, Islam came to give rights to women. I mean, Sayyidah Zainab's sermon was given on the 61st year after Hijrah. I mean, 60 or 70 years back, there was no rights given to women at all. So these females showed us that if our religion is attacked, I mean, if we look today and people attack the hijab, people, I mean, even females have had the hijab pulled off their heads. You know, the religion of Islam is attacked, so it's our duty to come forward and serve our religion. And to be honest, why are we on this earth? We're on this earth to serve Islam and to follow Islam. So therefore, there's no purpose in my life or in your life or any female but to protect this religion, serve this religion. So inshallah, we even see more females. Inshallah, even the caller, if you could join us and you know, serve the religion as well, that would be excellent. Inshallah. Let's go back to the sermon of Sayyidah Zainab. Did you finish what you were saying about?
Yeah, I mean, there was a followed on to what Sayyidah Zainab had replied to him, and then he was stunned by her reply, Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, because like the sister mentioned in the calling, that women are not supposed to speak, or they're not supposed to say something which is right and correct, and that is the thinking that he had in his mind, that she will take the bullet and not say anything back, no matter what I say, and then I put Allah in it to make the audience think that I am talking on behalf of Islam, and this is what Islam says. So what truth is truth, what Allah revealed can never be hidden. So Sayyidah Zainab, and he replied saying that So how, continuing his mockery, he said to Zainab, so how did you find the way Allah treated your brother and your family? And Sayedda Zainab alayha, she said, subhanallah, look at the powerful words she spoke. She said, I saw nothing but beauty. Subhanallah. I saw nothing but beauty. They rushed towards their graves with honor. Like Allah blessed them with martyrdom, and look at you, just standing there, and Allah's blessings is taken away from you. She continued saying that, but know that Allah will judge between you and them. And He will call you to the account. So be worried about the winner at that day. O son of Marjana, may your mother be mournful for you. In other words, she is making him realize that he is not getting away with it. A part of Sayedda Zainab alayha's sermon in Sham, directing to Yazid, was that you think you're getting away with it. But know that the ayat in the Quran is saying that Allah is just giving them some time so that they will increase in their sins, and then they will come back returning to their Lord, and that is the day when they will open their eyes, and obviously it will be too late by that time, and Allah is the most just and adl, and He will do justice between the two parties.
Definitely true.
And so, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. I mean, we're going to go in more detail of the sermon and the words that she used, and especially I think in today's discussion we'll focus on the sermon that she gave in Sham as well. But I think that was a beautiful analysis. I think it's approaching prayer time now, so inshallah we'll go to pray, and then inshallah come back and discuss more of these issues. For the audience at home, it's now approached prayer times here in London, so inshallah with our going off to pray. And I do request that for all the mu'mineen to please remember us in your du'as and in your prayers, inshallah. And we'll be back in 20 minutes. We'll be back at 4:30, inshallah, London time. So please do join us after the break. We'll be speaking more about the analysis of the sermon of Sayedda Zainab alayhi salam. We're welcoming calls and emails, so if you want to email us or call us, then please do after the break, inshallah. We have much more after the break, so tune in after the break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers, and welcome to Women's View on Ahlulbayt TV, a show discussing Islam through the voice of woman. Now, as we're approaching Ashura, I first would like to send my condolences to you all and to Imam al-Mahdi Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajah on the martyrdom of Imam al-Hussein. Now, just before we go to our live show today, I have an announcement, and that is in the first time of television history, we are broadcasting the maqtal of Imam al-Hussein live all around the world. So please do not let your Imam down. Please come and join us here at Ahlulbayt TV, our headquarters in Croydon, where we commemorate this tragedy. Now, please do help bring this event alive, because, we do not want an empty marquee while the maqtal is being recited. So please, for the brothers and sisters, you're all welcome to come to Ahlulbayt TV here in Croydon, in London, and to commemorate the tragedy of Imam al-Hussein while the maqtal will be broadcasted live around the world. So inshallah we'll see you then. We have the capacity of hosting more than 1,500 people. So you're all welcomed, all those viewers at home, all those viewers who would like to come to Ahlulbayt TV, you're all welcome. So inshallah we'll see you on Ashura, where we commemorate the martyrdom of our Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Now let's go to our topic today, and Sister Sana Kaleem. Assalamu alaikum. We're very pleased to have our two guests here, because both guests have been very active, both behind the screens and on screens. Fatimah Mohammad has been working for Ahlulbayt TV behind the screens and has contributed a lot, and Sana Kaleem, as you all know, has been on the screens as well. So alhamdulillah, we're very privileged to have both of them today. Now, the topic of the analysis of the sermon of Lady Zainab is such a powerful topic, and it's something that we can really prove to the world, the capability of women and the courage and bravery of Lady Zainab alayhi salam. Now, as we all know that Sayedda Zainab gave two sermons, both in Kufa and Sham. That's, the most known about. So let's discuss first of all these two sermons. I mean, what was the significance of these two sermons, and just explain to the audience the sermons that she gave. Yeah.
Yeah, well, basically after...
Because we have a very interesting topic lined out. And today's topic is the analysis of the sermon of Lady Zainab alayhi salam. As you all know, that Lady Zainab gave speeches out after the tragedy of Imam al-Hussein. And our sermon was very powerful, so today, inshallah, we'll analyse the sermon. Now, before we go to our live show, I would like to tell you all that this is a live call-in show. So if you would like to call in with your views or opinions, then please do call in with the number on the screen. We'd love to hear from you. Alternatively, you can email us at womensview@ahlulbayt.tv. That's womensview@ahlulbayt.tv. Inshallah, I'll receive your message in today's show and read it out during the show. Also, some of your comments will be shown at the bottom of the screen, so you can check them out at the bottom of the screen, inshallah. So let's get straight to our topic today. I'm your host, Zahra Al-Alawi, and today with me is Sister Fatimah Mohammad. Assalamu alaikum.
The events of Karbala and the burning of the tents. The women and the children were taken as captives, and they were taken to Kufa. Now, in Kufa, this is where Sayedda Zainab alayhi salam held her first sermon. What happened was that the people in Kufa knew who Imam Hussein alayhi salam was, and they had promised to support him. But because of the fears and the threats from Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, they betrayed Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and they left Muslim Aqil to be killed all alone. So here Sayedda Zainab alayhi salam speaks to them. She reminds them who Imam Hussein alayhi salam was, and also she condemns their betrayal. And afterwards, so this was the first part of her sermon. Afterwards, she goes in the court of Ibn Ziyad, and here he tries to insult her